Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about investment-linked policies or ILP, and we're going to be talking about what it is, how it works, and also what are some of the considerations that you should think about before buying an ILP. So to start, what is an ILP? An ILP is basically a life insurance policy that has investment components in it. So how it works is that when you buy the policy, obviously you make premium payment, right? And the premium that you paid will be used to buy investment units in a unit trust. So this unit trust is usually a fund that is provided by your insurance company. And after they use the money to buy the unit trust, they will cancel away some units to pay for your cost of insurance. So as you can see from this chart over here, the red line is your premium payment and the blue line is the fund prices, which when you make the premium payment, they'll buy the units at the current price lah. And also there will be a sum assured. That means if the policy is in force, and if you die or get permanently disabled, the policy will pay out the sum assured. And some of the common features of ILP is that usually they will allow you to have this thing called premium holiday, which means you can stop paying premium for a period of time during the policy. But it doesn't mean that the policy is free. What it does is that when you're not paying premium, they just deduct away units from your policy account to fund for the policy. So if your account runs out of money, then the policy might lapse off. The second common feature of an ILP plan is that it allows you to switch funds at low cost or even no cost. So what it means is that when you buy into an ILP, obviously you're invested in the fund. But if you feel that this fund is not performing as well, or you feel that another fund can do better, you can actually switch to another fund at low or no cost. And the third common feature of an ILP policy is that usually they will allow you to reduce your coverage when you become a little bit older. So what it means is that as you become older, the cost of insurance becomes higher and higher. So if you reduce your sum assured, you can actually pay less for your cost of insurance and then put in more money for investment. So I know for most consumers, probably they're not too familiar with how an ILP works and what are its components. So in this video, I'm also going to be sharing with you what are some of the terminologies of an ILP to give you a better idea and hopefully can help you make better financial decisions in the future. And the three common terms that I'm going to be talking about today is firstly the sum at risk, and then the cost of insurance, and also an allocation rate. So to start, what is a sum at risk? The sum at risk is basically the amount of money that the insurance company is at risk for when they issue the policy to you. So for example, if you buy the policy and if the sum assured is $500,000, the sum at risk will be $500,000 because the insurance company need to pay you $500K if you die or get TPD. But there's actually a way to calculate your sum at risk if you purchase an ILP, and I'm going to be showing you how to do it. So if you look at this chart over here, you can see that let's say if your policy has a sum assured of $500,000 and also your policy has let's say $100,000 in cash value, the sum at risk would be the difference between the sum assured and also your cash value. Because let's say if you pass away while the policy is in force, the insurance company needs to pay you $500,000. However, because there's a cash value of $100,000, the net payoff from the insurance company's point of view is only $400,000. So that's the amount that they are at risk for. Next, we're going to be talking about cost of insurance and what is it. So cost of insurance is basically what you are paying for your coverage. It is usually a percentage of the sum at risk, and it usually increases as you become a little bit older. So the chart looks like this. Let's say your sum assured is the same. Your cost of insurance will increase exponentially as you become older because the chance of you dying is much higher when you're older. So let me just go through with you with this example. The cost of insurance is how much it costs to insure you, and it's usually calculated by per $1,000 of insurance. So for example, if you are 30 years old, it will cost you $1 to insure you for $1,000. But if you are 65 years old, it will cost you $20 to insure yourself for $1,000. And for ILP, it is usually calculated by the cost of insurance for the sum at risk. Meaning that if your sum assured is $500K and your current cash value is $100K, that means the sum at risk is $400,000. That means if you're 30 years old, your cost of insurance for $400,000 worth of sum at risk will be $400,000 times $1 divided by 1,000, which is $400. And if you are 65 years old, your cost of insurance would be $400,000 times $20 divided by 1,000, which is $8,000. So as you can see from this example, if your sum at risk remains the same, your cost of insurance will increase as you become older. And one of the things about ILP is that if your premium is not high enough to cover for the cost of insurance, they will actually deduct units from your investment portion to fund for the cost of insurance. Next, we're going to be talking about the third terminology, which is allocation rate. This is how much premium is allocated to buying investment units. So because insurance company is a profit-making company, and they will have to pay for the fees and charges to administer the policy, and also to pay for the commission of the agent. So during your first few years, not 100% of your premium paid will be used to buy into the investment units. And as you can see from this example, this is just a rough estimate. The first year, usually it will be 25% of your premiums paid. That means if you pay a premium of $5,000 during your first year, only $1,250 goes into buying the investment units. The rest of the money goes into paying the insurance company as well as your agent. And the second year usually is around 50% allocation rate. That means if you are paying the same premium of $5,000, only $2,500 goes into buying the investment units. And as the policy progresses, the allocation rate will increase slightly, and usually from, let's say, the 10th year onwards, the insurance company will actually give you bonus units. That means if you pay $5,000 of premium, they will actually give you $250 more to purchase the units. So the allocation rate goes like this. As you can see, for the first 3 years, not 100% of your premium goes into purchasing the investment units. But from the 4th year onwards, it is 100%, and then let's say the 9th or 10th year onwards, it is 105%. So now that we know some of the common features as well as the terminologies, let me bring you back to the first chart that I've shown you just now so that you can get a better picture. So as you can see, the premium is usually a level premium. That means it doesn't go up or down. And every time you make a premium payment, it is used to buy into the investment units of any fund that you choose. And as you become older, the cost of insurance becomes higher and higher. And if you were to pass away anytime during the policy, the sum assured will be paid out to you and your family. And usually what happens if your cash value is way more than the sum assured is that the insurance company will pay you the higher of the two amounts. And that will also mean that the sum at risk is zero because the cash value is way more than the sum assured. That means the insurance company don't have to fork out a single cent to pay you because all the money is the cash value in your policy. And now that we have a better understanding of what is an ILP and what are its components, let's talk about some of the considerations that you might want to think about before buying an ILP. Firstly is the high fees and charges. This is usually due to the allocation rate of the policy. Because, for example, if your premium is $5,000 per year, and for the first 3 years, your allocation rate is only 25%, 50%, and 75%, that will mean that you have paid a total of $15,000 worth of premium, but only $7,500 is invested into the unit trust. What it means is that for the first 3 years, you are literally being charged 50% to buy into this investment-linked policy. So to me, it's a little bit high because if you were to buy into any unit trust, the maximum sales charge that they are allowed to charge you is around 5% only. So that's easily like 10 times the sales charge. The second consideration is that the cost of insurance might be higher than your premium. So for example, if let's say your premium is $5,000 a year, and let's say you bought this policy a long time and now you are 65 years old. Using the same example as just now, your sum at risk is $400,000. That will mean that your cost of insurance is $8,000. So I hope you can see that if you pay $5,000 in premium and your cost of insurance is $8,000, obviously it's not enough to cover the COI. So what the insurance company will do is to deduct from your cash value $3,000 worth of units to pay for the cost of insurance. And if this goes on long enough, the policy will lapse because there's no more money in your policy account. Which brings me to the next point, which is you cannot choose when to sell the units. So because your cost of insurance is an ongoing cost, so the insurance company will probably deduct from your account every month or every year to pay for the cost of insurance. And quickly moving on to the next point of consideration, which is your policy might lapse if there's no money in your account anymore. So after looking at all these considerations, it might seem like I am a little bit biased against ILP, which I personally am not a huge fan of. And also, the examples that I've given is an oversimplification. But my point is to hope to bring up some of the things that I think is important for you to consider. And I'm not saying that an ILP is 100% sucky, because it is not impossible for you to have a sum at risk of zero. Let's say if your fund is performing super well and it goes beyond your sum assured. It could be that the sum at risk is zero and you don't have to pay for any cost of insurance. But I think that is super unlikely to happen because you have to outperform over a long period of time, and the hurdles that you have to go through with all the high fees and charges and the management fees of the investment fund makes it a super tall order, and I don't think it is very doable lah. The next thing that I'm not so fond about ILP is that it might lapse if your policy has no more cash value, which insurance is a risk management tool and you buy it for a peace of mind. Why would you want to subject yourself to this type of market risk? So to me, it doesn't really make sense, and I think a lot of people would be much better off with just buying a plain vanilla term policy to meet their insurance protection needs. And then on top of that, if they have any spare cash, just go and buy into a unit trust or something. The charges might be lower and you might get a better return in the long run. And with that said, we have come to the end of the video. If you like the video, do give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you like the content. And if you have any questions regarding insurance or personal finance or even investment, do leave them in the comment section below. I'll try to answer if I can. Alright, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.